Welcome to the Geeks and Greeks podcast, where we bring in the latest and greatest in the world of sports. We couldn't be more thrilled to kick off this exciting journey with all of you. In this podcast, we'll dive into everything from game recaps to news and hot takes. Whether you're a diehard fan or just someone looking to stay in the loop, there's something here for everyone. So grab your favorite team's jersey, settle in with some snacks, and let's get ready for an adrenaline-packed ride through the world of sports.
Am I supposed to be singing? I can't hear singing.
I think you got the instrumental version of it.
Just the instrumental.
Take a minute.
E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles! Sorry I didn't sing. I was expecting words. But anyway, go Birds. We are the two-time world champions. That's right. Absolutely demolished the Chiefs. As far as I'm concerned, this game was 40-6. This was insane. I don't want to get out of order, though, but thank you for letting us listen to the Fly Eagles Fly in the beginning. It was wonderful, boys. I really appreciate it. And let's go. Oh, yeah. Welcome to the Geeks and Greeks podcast.
Oh, man. I was not expecting it to be that bad.
Oh, yeah. Jesus.
When they got to the 10-0, I'm like, all right, it's 10-0. We've kind of seen something like this, before, but we'll see something coming up here soon. Then 17 happened. I'm like, they're gonna do something, right? Like something's gonna happen. And then when they went to halftime at 24-0, I'm like, is it over? Is the game done?
Yeah. So when Kendrick Lamar put game over at the end of his thing, he wasn't talking about the Drake beef. He was talking about the Super Bowl. Game was over.
He was talking about both.
Yeah, fair enough.
I mean, shoot, man. Gee, I think I was more shocked when they put the graphic up that the Chiefs only had 23 total yards in the first half.
Oh, God. They had their first play from scrimmage was a first down, and then they didn't get another one until the third quarter. It was 5 minutes to go in the third quarter before they even had a play in Philadelphia territory. Think about that. They didn't blitz once. They didn't blitz a single down with a 4-man rush. They sacked Mahomes 5 times, caused 2 interceptions, and forced a fumble. This is insane. This was you ever hear the phrase oh, they're good, but they don't have a complete team? This is what a complete team looks like. I have never seen a more dominant team on the football field ever in my life. And I understand Hurts threw that 1 interception. That was a punt. It was a punt. It was better than a punt because it went to the 3-yard line instead of the 15 like a punt would have. That was a punt.
Yeah. The best I'll give for the Chiefs is their defense held Saquon in check for the whole game.
They did.
I'll give them that. They basically dared Jalen Hurts to beat him, and he did.
Yeah.
Oh, so. it was fantastic. Or as Saquon, or as I will the designated decoy of the game.
Greatest decoy ever.
Every time the Chiefs defense started to relax their coverage of Saquon, they ran Saquon up the middle, and then the defense tightened right back up on him. And it was like everyone else was less covered because everyone was on Saquon. And I just got this image of Steve Spagnuolo. Nola screaming at the defense and saying, if Saquon scores, ain't none of y'all making the team next year.
Hey, they did their goal then, man. Saquon didn't score. I mean, it's great because it's like, oh, we just dare you to beat us through Jalen Hurts. Jalen's leg and through the air. And the Eagles were just like, okay. Like, they had no answer to it. They're like, shit, we were trying to call your bluff.
If that's how you want to do it, then all right.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
I mean, I think the closest I could think to this was almost like what the Broncos Panthers when Cam and Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
That was all defense. Like, because Peyton sure didn't play like Jalen Hurts did in that Super Bowl. Like,
no.
I mean, that was just 100% defense, just completely swarming, like the Eagles did, but the offense didn't play like this. Like,
yeah,
I've never seen a more complete and thorough dismantling of a team in the Super Bowl like this before.
It's crazy because, like, we're talking about the Kansas City Chiefs. They didn't deserve to be in the game. They did not belong there, and the Eagles showed it. Like, they just straight up did not belong in the Super Bowl. And, like, I know everyone's talking about the referees, talking about how, like, they, help them in so many different situations. Even me, I've said it. I don't think that happened in this game, really. And on top of it, I'm reminded back to what a buddy of mine used to say back in the Patriots heyday, was that the referees would get the Patriots to the Super Bowl, and then they would call the Super Bowl right down the middle. And that's felt like exactly what happened. Like, the referees were like, okay, we'll give you guys all these blown calls and we'll keep your game going just so you make it to the Super Bowl, but then you're on your own. And the Eagles were just like, haha, you're a high school team. Like, they put their backups in just so guys could get reps in the Super Bowl and say they did it. Like, that literally happened in the Super Bowl. Like,
you want to know something funny? The Chiefs had 4 players that did not get on the field, and one of them was Carson Wentz. But the Eagles had 0.
That's amazing.
There were no active Eagles on the roster that did not get playtime. And I thought that was amazing.
So that's actually really funny because it's reminiscent of when my kid played football. And we had this one team where they were so bad, we literally got to the point where we were running a jet sweep every play. And the coach would just shout from the sideline, same play. And then he rotated every single player in at running back so that they got a chance to run the jet sweep. It was hilarious. Every kid, I think, had like 10 yards in that game. Even the linemen, the defensive guys, all of them had like 10 rushing yards in that game.
Oh, man. I mean, at some point, like in the fourth quarter, I'm like, even for the Chiefs, I'm like, come on, just put the backups in. Mm-hmm. You're not winning this game, man.
Yeah.
There's no point. Like, quit throwing Mahomes out there. Just you're down 40-7. Just put in Wentz and let him get a few Super Bowl reps just to say got to throw a few.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, what's the worst that's going to happen? You're going to lose by more.
It was funny because, like, the spot that I had my last bit of anxiety was their first drive coming out of the half. Because it was like, okay, it's 24-0. This is a mirage. Like, this is not what's really happening. We've seen a team come back from 24 points in the past. Mm-hmm. It's not out of their realm to put up 30, and maybe the Eagles won't be able to put up another point. And that's where my brain is. And then they punt, and I'm at the Super Bowl party with my buddies, and I'm looking around. I'm like, the Chiefs just lost the game. Like, that's it. And they're like, no, there's still a lot of football off the play. I'm like, no, dude, there's no way they're winning this game. They just punted. Like, that's it.
Right. And like, it was funny because like we're watching the game and like this whole time we're playing and like I'm watching the refs and they're like the only blown calls were like the false starts they called on the kicker.
Oh
like,
my God,
on the
yeah.
field goals. I'm like,
crap.
like they're like the false start on the center. I'm like, he hiked the ball. What are you
Yeah.
talking about? Like that was the worst call of the entire game. And I'm like, looking back, I'm like, I guess if that's the worst call, that it's not that bad, I guess. But still, I mean, it's kind of a.
I mean, it was a bad call, but what it did was it knocked the field goal back to 50 yards, and Jake Elliott hasn't been able to hit it from 50 yards all season. So like. Oh. It was a perfect blown call for the Chiefs, except Jake Elliott had the best game of his freaking life and was splitting the uprights no matter where he was kicking from.
Oh, yeah. Jake Elliott was kicking like his job depended on it.
It probably did, because
it definitely did. Dude, the last text I sent before the Super Bowl was to my mom, and I was like, I am feeling pretty confident, but if it comes down to a close game and an Elliott kick, I'm not going to feel so confident. That was the last one I said before the game started, and then it was just like, oh shit, he proved me wrong.
Because you go, what, 4 for 4?
I think so, yeah.
5 for 5. It was, yeah,
4 for 4.
Like,
4 for 4 sounds right, yeah.
And like everyone was like straight down the middle, like perfect shot pretty much. There was one that was close, but it was like he was right on target, like everyone. I'm like, man, this dude's on point today.
Right?
Did you notice he never made a field goal once? It was always twice.
Always twice.
Because the first time he kicked it, it was always something wrong, and they called it back.
So really, he went 8 for 8.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
And then, like, the one roughing the passer we got was actually roughing the passer. Because Jalen Carter just straight clubbed his face.
That was
because I saw it. I'm like, I even told Tom when I saw him, like, I'm pretty sure Mahomes just got clubbed in the face. And he's like, what? I'm like, watch this replay, and it shows. I'm like, yeah, no, he totally got clubbed in the face with both hands.
Mahomes was a test crash dummy with his face just.
Like roughing the passer. I'm like, that's all right. That's legit. I'll give you that one.
That's fair.
That's fair.
I gotta say though, like all of a sudden in the fourth quarter, like we just let them score garbage time touchdowns, which I think was ridiculous. They scored 16 points in the fourth quarter against our backups, our third strings. You know, as we've been saying. And, like, they actually scored a touchdown after Sirianni got his Gatorade bath.
Yep.
And, like, the team just didn't care that much because they knew there was no way they were going to lose the game. It was crazy.
Oh, man.
I saw someone online did that. They basically went through each of the Chiefs' touchdowns and said the state of the game when it happened, and one of it was like it was 0 to 30 something when you got your first touchdown, and on the last one it says Sirianni was already soaking wet with Gatorade when you got your last touchdown.
Oh man.
I want to give a quick shout out to Josh Sweat with 2.5 sacks, just half a sack short of the record and joining the 3-sack club. That would have been the icing on the cake for him.
Yeah.
I mean, the team was only 1 sack short of the team record.
Yep. Zach Bond. I knew Pete would give me crap about saying I hadn't heard about Zach Bond, and there this guy goes doing a mid-air interception like
it was
Superman.
so beautiful. Oh
like,
man.
Well, I'm gonna get grief about this.
Both interceptions were crazy. That one and
the greatest birthday present ever. He had a pick six rookie interception on your birthday
of Patrick Mahomes of all people. I mean, my goodness. Oh,
you ain't ever getting a better birthday present than that, man. That's the peak of the mountain.
It's true.
The Super Bowl, like that's got to be the coolest thing ever.
I'll tell you what, man. If I were on the Philadelphia Eagles, and I may even do this anyway, I would get a picture of Travis Kelce sitting on the sideline, looking as dejected as hell, with his hair still looking gorgeous. And it's just, I would frame that and I would put it up in my house and I'd look at it every day and be like, I did that.
What I'm hearing is you're going to replace the Mockingbird poster behind you with the rejected Travis Kelce
The
picture.
rejected Travis Kelce picture.
And to prove we're not completely lopsided in our praise, I will give a shout out to Xavier Worthy for getting the most non-quarterback player touchdowns at 2, and to Drew Tranquil from Fort Wayne, Indiana, for having the most tackles and tied for the second most assists.
Yeah.
That's about all the Chiefs did in that game. But anyways,
I mean, I feel bad for Xavier Worthy. I mean, the guy went 8 for 8. He got 110 yards. He got 2 touchdowns, and he lost the game. Like, he had the best stat line of the game.
Of anyone in the Chiefs, including Patrick Mahomes.
Not even just the Chiefs. I think he had a better stat line than most of the Eagles. Like, because they were spreading it around.
Yeah, because and Smith and Brown, they really did spread that out.
They did.
It was great.
Yeah.
Oh, and I even got a Dotson line because Dotson almost had the touchdown.
Yes. And it was great because he didn't, because nobody cares.
Yeah, we almost got the prop bet.
Yeah, almost. Yeah. But unfortunately, the Chiefs apparently have become really big Taylor Swift fans because they were just feeling 22.
Oh, God.
But one last thing before we move on. If you haven't checked out the promotional photos that the Eagles took of the players after the game, the one of Saquon with his daughter holding the Lombardi Trophy will melt your heart. It is the cutest thing ever.
I haven't seen that one. I gotta go find it.
And I hadn't heard that. I hadn't heard his daughter's quote about him going to Philadelphia until I saw that picture. And basically, he told his family he was going to Philadelphia, and his daughter's first question to him is, "Does this mean we can win now?"
That's fantastic.
Oh, yes, it does.
His daughter might be my favorite person ever now.
But that brings us to Super Bowl prop bets. All right, starting off with the silly. Here we go. Heads or tails? Pete called it with tails. Pete pulls ahead to an early lead. Surprise halftime show appearance. Unfortunately, it wasn't anything crazy except for Samuel L. Jackson.
Told you it wasn't going to be Beyonce.
I mean...
I wouldn't have called Sam Jackson to save my life.
Yeah.
But Samuel L. Jackson playing Uncle Sam was amazing.
That was great. The color of Gatorade dumped on the coach. Yellow.
Although Tom Brady called it green. I don't know if you caught that.
I missed it.
No, because I couldn't hear it over Tom going, "It's yellow! It's yellow!" right next to me.
Heck. John Batiste, national anthem. 125 seconds, just barely over. So we all scored on that one.
He did drag that out a little bit.
A little bit. Then the jersey number of the first player to score a touchdown was number 1, Jalen Hurts with the good old tush push. But I gotta admit, this is exactly what Pete said would happen. He said that they're gonna get onto the 1 yard line and tush push. Now I can't remember who was it that got him to the 1 yard line. Wrong one.
Dotson, we've got Dotson here. Nobody cares.
Nobody cares. Oh man.
Yeah, I thought it was great. I thought Dotson got it in for the touchdown. I was like, oh, that's great. That's awesome. And they called it back to the 1. I'm like, that figures. That's Dotson right there.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, listen, he didn't do much down in Washington. I wasn't excited when he came to Philly. I'm not going to lie. But hey, you know what? I'll always remember him for that one catch. I really will. You know so good for him.
He makes for a great number 3/4 receiver.
Yeah, I would say 4. I don't know about 3 because we had our 1 and 2 out, and he was supposed to step up, and like he had 3 catches in 4 games, I think, even when we were missing our 1 and 2 receivers. So like, it's hard to call him a number 3 when he can't even move up to a number 2 slot.
Then roughing the passer calls on Mahomes, just 1. So I got the point there.
You got it, yeah.
But man, the look on that guy's face when hit him in the head. At least it wasn't a bullshit call. I will grant that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was, like I said, that was legit. That was roughing the passer. At least in today's NFL.
Operation Designated Decoy, or Saquon, rushing yards, 150, unfortunately. For the betterment of the entire Eagles team, he only got 57 yards.
Yeah. I mean, that was the craziest thing about the Super Bowl, in my opinion, was Saquon never found a way to break free. And it felt like he was going to, like, 2 or 3 times. He'd, like, cut a corner or something, and then someone just grab his shoelace, and he'd be in the dirt. And it's like, damn it, I thought this was the one, every single time.
Yeah, I think they said Saquon's farthest run was 10 yards.
Yikes.
But that's a first down, so...
Yeah.
A.J. Brown, touchdowns, 1.5. Just the 1, but still 1.
Yeah.
We all called that. Jalen Hurts, 200.5, and with 221, we all get the point.
I told you. I don't know why they were saying 205. That's just disgraceful.
Mahomes at 250. At 257, we got it.
I didn't think he was going to. I really watching the game. I didn't think he was going to get 250.
No,
Yeah.
I was really pessimistic about it. I was like, that's not going to happen.
I would say 150 of those were all in garbage time. Like he probably had like 100 yards before the fourth quarter.
I bet that's
right.
60 of them were on that last touchdown to Xavier Worthy.
Yeah, exactly.
Travis Kelce, 120 all-purpose yards. Not even close.
I think I was the one that took the over, I think.
Yeah. He had 39.
Wow, even that seems high.
What if he really was planning on proposing at the end of that game?
Oh.
How horrible does he feel right now?
You should have tried harder than that.
Oh, man.
Xavier Worthy, 4.5 first downs. Unfortunately, it was only 3. But if you count the 2 touchdowns as first downs,
You do not.
we do not. So we were all correct with under. Carson Wentz, 1.5 completions. Never touched a blade of grass.
Nope.
Every Eagle on the team did, but not Carson Wentz.
Poor guy's never played in a Super Bowl. This team's been to so many with him.
And finally, the MVP was Jalen Hurts.
Woo!
I have to admit, I was trying to be against Jalen Hurts, but at the end of the day, I have to admit he had an amazing game.
Yeah, I think the part of the problem is like, who else are you going to give it to? I think, honestly, maybe Jalen Carter. Is his first name not Jalen? It might not be Jalen. I, for some reason, call everyone Jalen, whatever their last name is. Sorry.
Jalen Carter.
I think it
Is
Jalen
it?
Carter.
Yeah.
I think so.
But I could see him. I could see DeJean with the pick 6.
Yep.
But there's just so many people did so much in this game.
Yeah.
And it's who else do you give it to, really? And it's sorry.
No, I was just gonna say if there was like somebody else on offense that had a little bit that was kind of stood out a little bit more, maybe. But I think it's Jalen Hurts. I mean,
Yeah.
Well,
between
that was
passing and also he did so much running too.
Mm-hmm.
He
72 yards and a touchdown. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, that was the thing about the Eagles in the Super Bowl is there was no one person that did so much. It was spread out to everybody. Everybody, you get a touchdown, and you get a touchdown, and you get a touchdown.
You get a sack, and you get a sack, and you get a sack.
Like, I mean, if DeJean maybe had like broken a punt return for like a touchdown or something too, I'd say DeJean, if pick six and a punt return for a touchdown, he'd be the MVP. But like other than that, this feels like it wasn't just default the quarterback just because it's the quarterback. Like I think it legitimately should have gone to Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
But that moves us into the NBA Game of the Week.
I just want to say we're on correct before we pivot.
Before we pivot.
Kansas City, same time next year, baby. Let's go rubber match. Let's do it. Let's find out who the real dominant team is.
I don't know, man. They got a lot of work to do on that offense if they're going to make it back.
I don't care. I'm playing the challenge out. Let's do it.
I just got to say, this is the first game of the Eagles three-peat going forward.
I'm not going that far. I'm just saying I'd love to see the Eagles play Patrick Mahomes and Kansas City with Andy Reid one more time. Because it's 1-1 now.
I almost want to see. I want to see this game again. I want to see this game during the regular season as well, but like I don't want to see it on week 1 because week 1 you're still ironing a lot of things out. I want to see this game as like a Thanksgiving Day game or something.
Yeah,
somehow get both teams coming off a bye.
Yeah, past the first 4 weeks of the season, you got to be in like week 5 at least.
This needs to be like a week 10 with like both teams have a week 9 bye on Monday night.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
It would be.
Yeah, Monday night or Sunday night game, week 9 bye for both teams.
Except I think the next time we're going to see this matchup, it's going to be the preseason, right?
Yeah, nobody cares about the preseason.
I know. That's what I'm saying. That's the next time we're seeing this matchup, I think.
Let the third stringers play it out. Nobody cares.
That would be hilarious. They meet up in the pre. Oh.
Now, if they really want to get like internationally, if they want to draw an international crowd, send this game internationally.
Yeah.
Then you'll get the crowds really going. Don't send them fucking Jaguars versus Giants.
I can just see next season in the preseason Eagles Chiefs, and the Chiefs are taking it so seriously, and the Eagles have their third string guys in,
and they still win.
They still win.
Yep.
Oh heck. But to complete the pivot, let's move on to the NBA Game of the Week.
Here comes a new challenger!
One of the greatest games of all time. Who doesn't love NBA Jam, man?
Oh, man.
That game was so much fun.
It was. I loved the "He's on fire." So good.
Ooh, I might have to get that
I
one.
love going to like arcades and still finding like old NBA Jam arcade games
That's great.
that work, and it makes it that's like the best.
Yeah.
Playing old arcade machines to still have them.
Mm-hmm.
It's my favorite.
That was one of my like all-time favorite games. Going over to my friend's house, he had a Sega Genesis, and we go all like pile into his living room to play NBA Jam. There'd be like 10 of us in there taking turns on the Sega.
Right. Loser rotates out. Winner stays on the control.
Exactly. Yep.
If second player wins, he moves over to first. Second player rotates out.
No, we never did that. You never got 2 tries. But we're a little more cutthroat here in Delco. One and done.
No, I just mean like if you win, if you were second player and you won, you got first player, and then like second player would always be the one that moved out.
Fair.
Oh,
Yeah.
So,
I could see that.
But that was it. That's all I meant by that.
Yeah.
So,
All right. So, Mavericks Trailblazers. What'd y'all think?
So I left my notes across the room. Hang on one second.
Oh. All right. On that note, Luca is a beast, and Dinwiddie is a savage. Did anyone else think that Dinwiddie was kind of luring people to foul him. It seemed kind of like a thing where
Foul baiting has kind of become a thing in the NBA. They're trying to cut. They're trying to foul baiting has kind of become a thing, and they're trying to get rid of it. They're not calling it as much, and they're calling it more on the offense when they do it to a point. So, and Dinwiddie was doing it a bit in this game, a little bit. Yeah. But yeah, and you also notice that they said in the beginning, this is Luka's first game back. And if anyone that's ever played sports or done anything that's any kind of competitive, there's a difference between practice shape and in-game shape. And especially playing, to be able to play, and he played 36 minutes in this game, so to work your way back into just being kind of having to start the game and play 36 minutes is impressive, to say the least.
That's tough.
Coming back off a calf injury. And so we missed 4 games, and also the Mavericks were missing 3 of their 5 starters and like their main bench player too, so they're already down 4 guys. And the rest of the team's coming off a back-to-back as well. So they were playing in Utah the night before this game. Now they're playing in Portland this night, so half the team's already gassed as it is. And Luka's coming back off an injury. This was still just a really good game, though.
Yeah.
Like,
I think it was funny because, like, Luka definitely started slow.
yeah.
And I remember, like, watching him, and I'm like, wasn't this the guy we were supposed to be watching for? He was supposed to be really good. All he seems to be doing is passing. I'm just like, I don't know if he's aware of what sport he's playing, but this isn't soccer. Like, you're supposed to take a shot once in a while. It's not just a pass-heavy game. He passes really weird. I don't know if you saw this, but they did this one formation where he would come up to, like, the top of the key, but not dead center, like a little bit off to the side, and then there would be a guy all the way on at the 3-point line, all the way in the corner, like we're almost out of bounds. And he would do this like whole body heave where he would like hop up and be like, "Ooh," and like throw it all the way across the basketball court. And like on one level, I thought, okay, that's just how he's got to throw it to get that far. But like no one else had to do that. It was really, really strange.
So he does it. That's kind of like really just more of his style, more just because he gets it there quicker. So he just kind of hucks it. So yeah, that's kind of one of the ways that he does it is he'll drive to collapse that defense because he's so good at finishing at the rim and just is so good at just penetrating like that he can get open looks for those corner shots like that. And he'll use his body momentum to just get the ball quicker out to those 3-point shooters, and they get open looks. And you saw that this entire game. Like, when Luka was on the floor, the guys on the perimeter like that had open shots all the time.
Yeah.
And as soon as he went to the bench, the offense was gone.
Right.
Like, the dudes didn't have open shots. They couldn't generate anything. Dinwiddie wasn't bad, but it's not the same. He didn't have that same presence on the court.
Yeah.
And you're right, Luke. When it started, he wasn't taking shots at all.
Yeah.
But also part of that too is, you saw it in the third quarter. In the beginning of the third, he really started shooting. That's when he really put his stamp on the game. That's when he said, "This is my game. This is when I can do it, and I'm gonna do it when I want to do it."
Right.
And he did it multiple ways, and he didn't even do it the same way twice. Like one possession, he comes down, takes a step back 3 off to the left side of the 3-point line. Another time he comes down and takes a nice turnaround jumper at the elbow. Another time he comes down and just takes it inside and does a layup. Like, I mean, multiple times he just does different stuff. And what makes it really fun for me to watch is that he's not the most like explosively athletic guy, but you can tell how smart he is, and he beats you with his intelligence too. He's athletic to be able to do this, but he's also very, very smart and can break everybody else down and knows what's going to happen ahead of time at the same time.
Yeah. I actually wrote one of my notes here was that as soon as Lucas started taking shots, suddenly, was it the team he played for? His team started winning, whatever their name.
Mavericks.
The
Mavericks. Yeah, it was like suddenly the Mavericks started winning. It was like crazy. Like he was passing this whole game, he takes a shot and they were suddenly winning. And then They went up by like 12 two separate times, and Oregon came back twice, only to lose the game by 6. And it sucked because I was really rooting for Oregon at the end because we're watching the game late, so I'd seen the score, but I forgot who won by the time, we're at the end of the game. And I'm really caught up in it. I'm like, damn it. Like, I would have liked to see what happened if Simons or whoever
Simons. Yep.
if he didn't get knocked out of the game because of fouls.
Because that was so stupid.
Oh, it was. Some guy jumps on top of him and they kick him out of the game. Like, I don't know. But if they hadn't kicked him out of the game, I would have liked to see how the game ended because I think he would have been able to win the game, and that would have been exciting, I think.
And Kamara goaltending his own player's shot, which what the hell was that?
Yeah, 42 seconds. The ball was going in. He comes up and hits it just enough to get an offensive goaltending.
Right.
That was just like at that point. That's like game's over. Like you just crushed all momentum for the team at that point, and that's when that game was over and just ended the entire thing. Because then they started fouling and they started hitting free throws. But yeah, it was just one of those games where Luka had to take over the game by himself, basically. And watching him play, and watching it, it's like it comes to the end of the game, and you're watching him play, and it's like they come like, yeah, Luka's 36 points. I'm like, dude, he had 36 points. Like, you don't think about it. You're like, wow, he put up 36 points in that amount of time. And it doesn't seem like he put up that much, but he did, and it's just like he's just that quick at stuff. And he really tries to get a lot of his guys involved, and that's why kind of part of why he was passing earlier to begin with is to get more of his guys involved to kind of get their confidence up and get their rhythm going in the game, because he knows he can take over the game when he needs to. And that he needs to get them going first sometimes, especially when you got guys that don't normally start a game starting too. So he needs to kind of get them working first, and then he can pick it up later when he has to come in and really take over the game, like how he did in that third quarter when he took it over, at least in the beginning of the third quarter.
Okay, so I got to throw something out to you guys. I have a note here that is hilarious, but I don't remember this part of the game at all. It says, bull crap, offensive foul, my foot. Oh, good, they're challenging it. Vindication, 12 exclamation points. Offensive foul. Dinwiddie to the line.
So that would be when Dinwiddie was bringing the ball up the court and Avdia grabbed him by the arm and Dinwiddie shoved him forward. They called an offensive foul on Dinwiddie for shoving him.
Yep, I remember now.
Dinwiddie called for the challenge, and then they called the defensive foul on Avdia for grabbing his arm instead, and then that's when Dinwiddie got the free throws. So that's what you're referencing at that point.
Okay, I remember it now. I remember that he got his arm.
Yeah, the commentators, like the Mav commentators I was listening to, they're like, how is that an offensive foul? He wrapped up his arm first. Like, what are you talking about? And like I said, it's some of them are just fine. They're like, what? No. Yeah. And even the last foul on Simons, the commentary is like, how's that a foul? He's like, this league's a joke sometimes. Even the Mavericks, calling that. And you're like, but no, come on. No, you can't call that. Not at that point. But yeah, you're probably right. Had Simons not fouled out, the Trailblazers probably would have won that because he was on fire.
He was.
Oh, yeah. But he just kept committing fouls at the worst possible times. I even have a note. Portland committed 25 fouls to Dallas's 15. Yeah. And
part of it's also the coach. I mean, how do you leave him in the second quarter when he has 3 fouls? You can't do that. Like, you have to pull him out. Like, you got to get him out of there when he's got 3 fouls. You call it. You know he's got 3. When it's your ball, you call a timeout and get him out of there. You've got to protect him from that. You can't leave him in that position.
See, I don't understand that. You're gonna have to explain that a little more to me. Like, with basketball, with the NBA, you get 6 fouls and then you're out of the game. Right.
You can't come back in. With when you get a certain amount of, if you get a certain amount of fouls too early in the game, it's usually the coach's responsibility to get you out of the game to keep you from getting too many fouls too early, so that it saves you to be available later on in the game. So Simons picked up his fourth foul with like 7 or I think like 6 or 7 minutes, maybe it's 7 or 8 minutes left in the second quarter.
Yeah.
And that was just way too early. He should have gotten taken out of the game so that he could have come back either late in the second or right after or at the beginning of the third or after halftime. Because then he could have had 3 fouls at that point instead of coming back later in the third with 4. It would have spaced it out to where he could have been available for longer with less fouls.
Okay.
So because the coach didn't get him out of there in time, they were able to kind of pick on him and get him that fourth foul and get him in even more trouble. So he sat for longer and wasn't available to his team to play because he was in too much foul trouble too quickly. So part of that, so that's more on his coach for, like I said, part of it's on the coach not getting him off the floor. Part of it is also him putting himself in bad defensive position for that fourth foul when he got it as well. So it's kind of on both, but his coach really should have gotten him out of that position to begin with.
Okay.
So, Adam, who do you have us watching next week?
So next week we're going to go back, and it's going to be from November actually of this year. We're going to be watching the Orlando Magic and the Washington Wizards.
Magic and Wizards? I love it.
When in November?
November 10th.
November 10th. All right.
So this one's going to be... This will be an interesting one. I'm not sure how this game will go. I didn't watch this one, but I will say I guess a warning of some sorts. The Wizards are the worst team in the NBA this year.
Oh, all right. Cool.
We'll see. The Magic are one of the... I don't know if better is the right word, but the Magic started off really good this year, and they are at least a playoff team right now. So we'll see a playoff team as of right now versus what is arguably the worst team in the NBA as of today. The Wizards have only won 9 games. So,
wow,
out of over 50.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they're in what we call rebuild mode.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
I do have to say that. So doing this exercise has really been a good trip for me. Like, I've been having a lot of fun with this, and it has gotten me to the point where I am actually looking forward to spring, because I'm gonna go buy basketball and start doing basketball for exercise, because it looks fun. And I am on no level going to even challenge someone to a game of one-on-one, because my knees can't handle that shit. I am literally old man just going to be standing at the foul line doing foul shots at the elementary school. But I'm going to be enjoying that. It's going to be a good time. At the same time, I have to say, if your starters cannot play every game, and this goes out to every sport, if your starters cannot play every scheduled game, then you have too many scheduled games. Just period. That's it. You have a starting lineup for a reason. Play a number of games that is a reasonable load for that starting lineup to play. Do not have so many goddamn games that you have to have backup players in as your starters for half of your games. And this goes out to all sports that do it. I don't like it. I hate it. There's a whole reason for a starting team. That's all I have to say about it.
All right. So that's the perfect segue into the...
Well, actually, hold on real quick. Before we... No, it's not. This weekend, actually, is All-Star Weekend for the NBA.
All right.
I think it's this Friday, Saturday, Sunday is All-Star Weekend out in San Francisco.
Ah,
nice.
So Friday will be the Rising Stars Challenge. Saturday is the, I think, Slam Dunk Challenge, as well as the 3-point contest and skills challenge. And then I think Sunday is the All-Star game itself, which is they're doing a new setup this year. I'm not sure exactly how they're doing it. It's a weird thing. They have like 4 teams this year. I don't know. It's weird. I need to look more into it, but it's a weird thing they're doing this year. I'm not sure. But they're trying something new for the All-Star game because it has not been good the last couple of years.
Now, does the All-Star game mean anything in basketball?
Nope. Not a thing.
It's like the Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
Why do you do it in the middle of the season then?
It's more just to give the guys a break.
Shit, sorry.
They do it in the middle of the season more just to kind of give the guys a break, just to give them some time off.
That makes sense.
So, and honestly for me the best part's like the 3-point contest and the slam dunk challenge, like the skills competition. So, but like it used to be fun, but it's not as much anymore. So there's just the guys don't have that competitive edge anymore like they used to. So. Yeah. Everyone's too much. My biggest problem anymore is all the guys are friends now.
Yeah.
So no one's got that competitive edge that they want to beat everybody now.
Right.
Everyone wants to be friends on and off the court. So it's like,
I don't mind you being friends in the off season, but when the season's on, you got to be rivals, in my opinion.
Yeah. It just makes me think of that Tom Brady episode where he was talking about he was friendly with everyone, and then the one time he was trying to be friendly with Ndamukong Suh, he says, "I'm not your fucking friend."
Right? I remember that.
Oh god.
But anyways, moving on to Geeks and Greeks news.
Ah, that's what that sound was for.
I think we're old, Tom.
All right. The news story for today is Eli Manning is not a first ballot Hall of Famer, as he has missed the 2025 induction class. All right, so I have some strong feelings about this, but I would like to hear your guys' take on this.
I mean,
you can start. Go ahead.
I mean, there's only one Manning that deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, and you're wearing his jersey, Tom. Like, there really is. Like, I'll be honest. I'll be fair. I don't know enough about Archie Manning's career to know he should be a Hall of Famer. I'll be fair here. The only one I know for certain that I will say is Peyton 100% deserved to be a Hall of Famer. A 500 quarterback does not deserve to be a Hall of Famer. He was mediocre at best. He was never looked at as a top quarterback in the league. He was always the Mendoza line of a starting quarterback. Is your quarterback as good as Eli Manning? Yes or no? Yes, then he's a starter. If he's not, then he's not a starter. A Mendoza line starting quarterback is not a Hall of Fame quarterback. They were never that good of a team. They had 2 fluke seasons where they made the wild card and won. Yes, they did win 2 Super Bowls. Yes, there have been plenty of people that have won multiple Super Bowls that are not in the Hall of Fame. There have been multiple quarterbacks that have won Super Bowls that are not in the Hall of Fame. Just because you won 2 Super Bowls doesn't mean you're a Hall of Famer. This dude's not a Hall of Famer. Never has been, never will be.
Okay,
doesn't deserve to be on the ballot, honestly.
Quick pushback. The second time they went against the Patriots, they did win the NFC East title. They were supposed to be there, and then they proved it by beating everybody on the way to beating the Patriots. All right, Pete, go.
So, I see what you're saying, but win-losses are a team stat. You can't say he's a 500 quarterback. Yes, he's a 500 quarterback, but no, he's a quarterback that played for a 500 team to begin with. Like, that is absolutely a team stat. He made the Pro Bowl 4 times. He made the Super Bowl twice, and he won both of them. Not only did he win both of them, but he beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl twice. Like, that is something to be said. And
about Tom Brady, not Eli Manning.
He was in one of the most competitive divisions of his time. He was cutthroat just as much as Donovan McNabb was, just as much as Tony Romo was. They were constantly fighting for who was going to be top of that division, and because of that, it hurt him. It hurt his record. If he had been in the AFC West or whatever the Patriots were in for the majority of his division instead of the Patriots, and he was the only one in there winning the way they would have, he would have been in the playoffs 10 years in a row. Easily would have been in the playoffs 10 years in a row. I mean, he had some bad seasons, yeah. He also had some really, really good seasons. And the fact of the matter is, there are not a lot of people out there walking around with 2 Super Bowl rings on their finger. And even less people that can say I was the starting quarterback of both of those Super Bowls. And every Super Bowl I was ever the starting quarterback in, I won. There are very, very few people who can say that. And to say he doesn't belong on the ballot is just disrespectful to him. Of course he belongs on the ballot. Maybe he doesn't belong in first. No, he didn't belong to go in this year. I don't think he necessarily needs to go in the next 4 or 5 years. He's got to sweat it out a little. But he absolutely belongs on the ballot until he gets in my opinion.
I think we're rewarding mediocrity at this point. Not everyone that played in the 2000s deserves to go on the Hall of Fame ballot, and that's what it's becoming at this point. I mean, it feels like every quarterback that played in the 2000s is going on the Hall of Fame ballot at this point. Like,
well, that's what happens when you're 20 years removed from 2000. Everybody who was great back then now gets to the Hall of Fame. It's just time. It's their time, man.
We're great. We're looking at this with rose-colored glasses because this is when we grew up watching football.
Okay, I want to push back against that.
Right.
Eli Manning holds 2 NFL records right now, and he's tied for a third. And it's because you can't complete a pass longer than 99 yards.
Oh, now come on! Jeff George even has yards completed like that.
No, he doesn't.
He's close. He has 97.
Yeah, well, yeah, a lot of people have 97 and 98, but only 13 people have 99
only
yard
13.
plays.
Okay, so he's
only 13, dude. That doesn't even make half the roster. Yeah, in history,
the first one was 1939.
Yeah. Come on, man. I get you didn't like him.
Just because you completed a 99 yard, and that's more of a receiving stat than a quarterback stat, because the receiver had to do all the work.
All right, fair enough. Moving along. He is 11th overall in passing yards, passing attempts, passing completions, and passing touchdowns. He's 11th in all 4 lists. He should be moved to his number being 11 because he's 11 in all of them. He is just shy of the top 10 in 4 separate passing categories of all time.
Okay. How long did he
Take
play?
it back down. He played for 16 years.
That's also part of it, too. When you play in a league that also developed more of a passing attack.
Come on, man. You're just trying to be contrarian to every point. Every point Tom is making is right, and it's why he deserves to be a Hall of Famer. You can't make excuses for greatness so often. He did have flashes of greatness, period, that earned him the spot.
Let us compare Eli Manning to another first ballot Hall of Famer who also won the Walter Payton Manning of the Year award, Troy Aikman.
I don't think Troy Aikman should be a Hall of Famer, honestly.
Now, I knew you were going to do that.
I said it before. I've honestly been on record to say I don't think he should be a Hall of Famer.
But regardless, he is a first ballot Hall of Famer. He had 4,715 passing attempts. Even if you adjust his 12-season career to 16 to match Eli's, he is still 1,800 yards less than Eli. And it's that way across every one of his stats except for number of Super Bowls. I will give you that. But you have already said that number of Super Bowls doesn't matter. So if Troy Aikman and we'll even go a step further. I did this analysis for John Elway, Warren Moon, Troy Aikman, and Dan Fouts. Eli has better stats than all of them, and all of them are first ballot quarterbacks in the Hall of Fame. It is complete bullcrap that Eli is not in the first ballot, and I will take a breath.
So every point you're making is right. I don't agree he should have been first ballot, and the reason I don't agree he should have been first ballot was because he was in such a chippy division. He didn't make the playoffs that often, and he didn't keep over 500 record every season. Like, I'm not saying every season, but like if you look at like his last, what's it, like 6 years, like 6-10, 6-10, 11-5, then 3-12, 5-11, 1-3, and then he was out of the league. But towards the end, he fell off for sure, and he was in a very, very chippy division in the 2000s. Like, other than the Commanders, Redskins at the time, they weren't really that great. But the other three teams in the NFC East were constantly trading. There have not been back-to-back winners of that division since 2003 or 2004, I think, when the Eagles did it with McNabb way back when. And he won that division a few times. He played in the best division in the league. The NFL Hall of Fame is a celebration of the game of football. And to bring a player into the NFL Hall of Fame is a celebration of their moments of greatness. And you can't deny that Eli Manning had moments of greatness. And by all accounts, should be in the Hall of Fame because that's what it's for. It's for remembering the helmet catch. It's for remembering the Odell Beckham Jr. catch. And I know I'm talking about receiver stats, but those were terrible passes. But you know, he's the one who threw it, and he's the one who won those games. You know, did they win just because of him? No, it's a team stat. You're right. That is a team stat too. I
will say you're absolutely right about the NFC East title. The Giants won it in 05, 08, and 11. And it's because there's this hilarious merry-go-round of NFC East teams who are constantly fighting over that title. And that just is another reason why the competition was so tight in those years, those not early 2000s, but 05 to 11 was just so cutthroat.
Yeah. And I think that hurt his reputation, and I think he deserves to be in it. And yeah, his last couple years in the league, that hurt his reputation too, because he did have a falling off at the end, and he probably should have retired before he did. But at the same time, like, it is what it is. You've got to remember the great seasons, and I think it earns him to be in the conversation every year, at least for a while, and probably in a year or two. And I see Tom's point. I don't think I'd be mad if he was in right now. I'm not pushing for it, but I don't think I'd be mad.
And to reciprocate, I can also see him getting pushed back to next year, but he should have been on the ballot for this year. And it's doubly insulting when you see the four guys that got in, and no disrespect, but none of these four guys except one saw a Super Bowl, and that's Jared Allen, who lost to Peyton's Broncos. And it's just, why was Eli kicked out of this list? He is so much better than these four guys.
Yeah, Jared Allen, again, Jared Allen doesn't really, honestly, shouldn't even be here either. I mean, I'll give you that as well.
But none of these guys ever saw a Super Bowl. Two of them are lost in AFC championships, is the closest they got to the Super Bowl. And Sterling Sharp, if your last name isn't Sharp, you're not here. I'm just going to say it.
Well, I think that's more of a legacy pick because he got injured and because of his injury, honestly.
But he played for 7 seasons.
Again, I think that's more of a legacy pick, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm not mad about the Sterling Sharp because he also feels like one of those like your favorite player's favorite player kind of guy. That like it seems like a lot of the players are really happy that he's in.
But
Um,
the thing that irritates me is he never played in a postseason game. His team made it while he was on IR.
yeah,
He was never on the grass in the postseason, and he's in the Hall of Fame. I'm like, why? Why is Eli getting snubbed while this mofo? Because his brother? Yeah, brother
yeah.
is the Sharp, not Sterling Sharp, the Sharp.
Yeah,
Sorry. All right, I'll get off my soapbox. I'm
you
good.
good?
Well, at the time too, also when he was playing, he was the top receiver, and he was also on a trajectory for the. He had a Hall of Fame trajectory when he was playing. When he got hurt, we obviously don't know what would have happened if he would have made it or not had he had a full career, but there's no real way to know. But yeah, I don't. Again, Jared Allen, I think it's a bad choice. Again, he wasn't. Was he a good defensive end? Yeah, he was good. Was he a Hall of Famer? No, not at all. Like, again, Hall of Very Good, not Hall of Fame. He was never one of those guys that was like the best in the league. He was always the tier below those guys. He was never the Julius Peppers. He was never a Mario Williams. He was never that level, that top tier of guys. He was never a J.J. Watt. Like, I don't get it.
I will say of the four guys that made it on the list, besides Antonio Gates, I would put Antonio Gates in the Hall of Fame. Jared Allen is a coin flip to me. And then the other two are a fuck no. And then that is just gas on the fire of why is Eli not here? But I understand that he is borderline not good enough to be first ballot, but he sure as shit is second.
Yeah, I could see second.
He might be.
All right,
see.
sorry.
Wow, the Giants won the division at 9-7. Must have been a bad year for the East. Dude, 9-7 and you win the division, that's a bad year for the division.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, that means second place was 500. That means everybody had a bad year.
Yeah.
Everybody was hurt that year.
Sounds like the AFC South this year.
So the Giants won the division in 2011 with 9-7 with a point differential of -6. That's bad. That's bad.
Yeah, that is bad. Heck.
Oh,
But
man. What was that?
No,
That was the Mike Vick year.
maybe that
Shady
explains
McCoy
it.
put up 1,300 yards. Vince Young was playing. Oh,
you didn't have McNabb anymore?
2011, now McNabb was retired by 2011, I think.
yeah, he was.
Okay.
Sante Samuel, Jason
Was
Peters.
that pre...
Sometimes I
2011?
forget how long he was.
Was Romo hurt? What was going on in 2011?
Ooh, that was the Juan Castillo year. I wonder whatever happened to that guy. I liked Juan
what-
Castillo. I think it was sad that they aired him. Oh, look at that. He's playing, or rather coaching offensive line at UCLA.
There you
He
go.
was the tight ends coach of the Commanders up until last year.
Wow. He has had a way more interesting coaching career than he ever did as a player.
Well, there you go. I don't know. We'll see. He might get in next year. It depends on who. Well, because next year we got Drew Brees on the ballot too. So yeah, Brees is going to be
Yeah.
on that ballot starting next year as well.
And that's what bugs the shit out of me is that I don't get me wrong, Drew Brees is a fantastic quarterback, and I'm fairly certain he's going to be a first ballot because every argument I just made for Eli Manning, Drew Brees is above Eli Manning in all the stats. So,
Yeah.
so
I
Drew
mean,
Brees is gonna.
we're talking about a 13-time Pro Bowler with Drew Brees. Like that's a lot more than Eli Manning's 4, buddy.
Oh yeah, I'm not. That's what I'm saying. Is I
Yeah.
believe Eli should be in the Hall of Fame here next year, for sure. If Drew Brees is not a first ballot Hall of Famer, there's riots.
Yeah. It's going to be like the only thing the city of New Orleans has to hold on to next year. It's Drew Brees getting in the Hall of Fame.
Maybe we'll see, dude.
Although,
So here's the top right now. Here, David. Here's like the top 12 for next year's first time eligible players for the Hall of Fame that they have. They have New England's ex-kicker Steven Gostkowski. This is not my list. This is somebody else's list.
No.
You've got Des Bryant.
Okay.
You've got Julian Edelman, which I don't think is going to be in the Hall of Fame.
Not first.
not first ballot.
Yeah, Geno Atkins. I don't think he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Phillip Rivers. Maybe.
Ooh, I have to look in his stats.
Marquise Pouncey.
I don't know that one.
Greg
I don't know.
Olson.
Greg Olson.
Shady
That sounds
McCoy.
familiar. Oh, I know.
Shady
Yeah,
McCoy.
Shady. I know
Jason
Shady.
Witten.
Jason Witten will probably go in.
I don't think he'll be a first ballot, though.
But yeah,
Maybe.
Jason
Yeah.
Witten.
It'll be
He's
close.
borderline.
Yeah. I think he'll make it, but I don't think he'll be a first ballot. Now, I do think Frank Gore is going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I would say so.
Larry Fitzgerald.
It pains me to admit Frank Gore, but I bet you're right. Larry Fitz. You're...
And Drew Brees.
Now, do you think that Larry Fitz no Super Bowl is going to hurt him?
It might. I honestly don't know. I
Because
think
this is... Sorry.
it's hard to. It's honestly hard to tell because,
Because he's another example of being a plus 500 player on a sub 500 team.
yeah, I'm trying to find where his all-time rankings are.
Oh, yeah. See, just on my memory, every memory I have of Fitz is he's an amazing player that had nothing going on around him.
Yeah.
But I
He
mean,
torched Philadelphia every single time he played us. It
Yeah.
drove me insane.
so he had. I mean, he ended his career with 1,400 catches for 17,492 yards and 121 touchdowns.
And a degree from Phoenix University. Don't forget that.
So, I mean, maybe. I really don't know. It's hard to tell. 11-time Pro Bowl, 1-time All-Pro, Walter Payton Man of the Year. He's on the 2010s all Hall of Fame All 2010s team. So it's hard to tell, man. Maybe.
Yeah. So
That's...
good.
Oh, I was going to say, that sounds an awful lot like all the second ballot Hall of Famers that I went through.
Yeah.
He might be. Yeah, he might be a second ballot. I mean, just like Eli might be a second ballot as well.
He better be.
So
Do they have a certain? I mean, there's no like set limit on how many people they can put in, is there? I don't know. If they
I think
have
there
that,
is.
It's less than 10.
yeah.
Okay.
I thought the number was exactly 10, to be honest with you, but
Oh, you're right. You're right. It is 10. 10
Yeah.
is the cap. There's
Right.
the final ballot is 10, and they could potentially put all 10 in.
right. So for Phillip Rivers, I think the closest comparison I would make is Dan Marino.
Who was first?
He was the first Hall of Famer. So I could see Phillip Rivers going in first ballot, but I don't know. I don't know if he deserves it. I think.
Dan at least made Dan at least made a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I guess.
But like the problem with Rivers is again Rivers had that buzzsaw of like Peyton, Brady, Roethlisberger. Like, I mean, I guess Manning had that too. Although I will say Larry Fitzgerald is second all time in reception yards, only
Second
behind the
all-time.
great Jerry Rice.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So
Yeah, but if you're getting knocked out of the top spot by Jerry Rice, that's a hell of a thing.
So
You might as well consider yourself first because no one's beating Jerry Rice.
So yeah, Fitzgerald had 17,492. Jerry Rice had 22,895. It's not even close. Almost
That's
6,000 more yards.
Oh my God.
That's
Jerry
Rice for you.
Jerry Rice retired the year Fitzgerald was a rookie. Rookie year.
Oh man.
Rice's last year was 04. Fitzgerald's rookie season was 04.
That's awesome.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, so Fitz may be a first ballot just because he's second all-time in reception yards.
Oh man.
Yeah, if not for Jerry Rice, I would be amazing. All right, so that moves us into the trivia segment.
Woo.
And this is a game I call Super Bowl Pong. I will ask you a Super Bowl trivia question with multiple answers. You will go back and forth giving answers until someone gets it wrong. Then the opponent gets one more guess, and then we move on. As always, these questions are signed by RN Jesus, so don't at me. So, Pete, last year the Chiefs became the 8th team with 2 consecutive Super Bowl wins. Name one of the other 7.
The New England Patriots.
Is one of them. Adam, name another.
What was the question?
Teams that have 2 consecutive Super Bowl wins.
Denver Broncos.
The Denver Broncos are one of them. Pete.
The Green Bay Packers.
Green Bay Packers are the first team to do it.
Yep.
Adam.
The almighty Cowboys.
Dallas Cowboys.
You know, I was going to say that, but I figured since you didn't say that, then I was wrong and they didn't have a back-to-back one.
Pete, can you name one of the last 3?
Didn't San Francisco have one?
San Francisco did indeed have
Yes.
one. Adam.
Okay, let's see. Back to back. There's only 2 left, right?
Correct.
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh Steelers did it.
One
Pete, do you
last
think you
one.
can name the last one?
Oh, kick me. Back-to-back Super Bowl, and they have to be wins, right? It's not
Yeah,
played
back-to-back
in
Super Bowl
back-to-back.
wins.
I feel like this is a shot in the dark, but something screaming Rams to me.
No.
No?
Adam, do
Okay.
you want to steal the last one?
Okay. Let's see. It's not the Bears. It's not the Vikings. It's not Titans. It's not Colts. It's not Browns. It's not Chiefs. Man, is it? He said the Rams. It's not the Chargers. It's not the Dolphins. Wait, Dolphins.
It is the Dolphins. Way to
Damn.
go. They're 72 and 73 were their 2 consecutive Super Bowl wins. All right. Adam, the Patriots hold the record for the team with the most Super Bowl appearances at 11. Name one of the 4 teams tied for second.
Pittsburgh.
That's one. Pete, name another.
So they have 11 tied for second. At this point, Kansas City.
No. Kansas
Damn.
City is not tied for second. Adam, do you want to steal the last point?
Pittsburgh. San Francisco?
San Francisco is one. I was honestly surprised you didn't pick Dallas.
I wasn't sure if Dallas had gotten to that point or not, to be honest with you.
Dallas and the Broncos were the last 2.
What's the number of being in 5?
8.
8. Oh, okay.
I didn't know Dallas had been to 8, to be honest.
I wouldn't have guessed the Chiefs had I known it was 8. I thought the number we were looking for was 5, but
Pete. Oh, sorry.
no, you're good.
Pete, the 4 teams are undefeated in the Super Bowl. They have never lost a Super Bowl in which they were a part of. Name one of the 4 teams.
They do have to have played in a Super Bowl to be this.
Correct.
Okay. So I really hope I don't get it wrong right off the bat and say the New York Football Giants.
The Giants are not part of this list.
Damn, right off the bat. Jeez.
Adam, do you want to try to guess?
Well, we know the Bills are eliminated at least 4 times in a row. Dallas is also eliminated from this.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh's eliminated from this. New England has been eliminated from this. Kansas City's been eliminated from this.
Thank you, Eagles.
Uh-huh.
And Tampa.
Yeah, that's right. Brady beat him once too.
Let's see. Philly's been eliminated from this by Kansas City.
Well, way before then.
Yeah. Let's see. I wonder, Washington.
Washington is not part of this list.
Wow. Wait, can we keep going since we both got it wrong?
Sure. Give it another try, Pete.
All right. How about Green Bay?
The Packers are not part of this.
All right.
list.
Never mind. This game sucks.
The 4 teams are the Saints, the Jets in 1968 were their
the
only
Jets.
appearance.
Because they only made it once.
Yeah.
Yep.
Joe Cool.
The Ravens, because
That's not
they've
Joe
only
Cool.
been twice and they won both. And Adam, you are incorrect. The Buccaneers are on this list at 02 and 2020. They've won
I never
both.
say anything about the Buccaneers.
Oh, I thought you went through your list and said
No, I said the Buccaneers eliminated they eliminated the Chiefs.
Ah, okay.
I never said they were eliminated. I forgot about them winning both.
All right, Pete. Name a team that has played in 4 Super Bowls but has never won.
Yeah, I think we just mentioned the Bills recently.
We sure
all know
did.
they played in 4 back-to-back Super Bowls but never won.
Adam, can you name the only other team to win 4 Super Bowls, play in 4 Super Bowls and never win?
Playing 4 and never win. It was almost the Broncos until they ripped off those 2 in the 90s. Is it the Bengals?
It is the Vikings.
Damn.
The Vikings.
I think the
Hey, I
Bucks
didn't
have
get a chance to steal.
Oh, I'm sorry, Pete.
It's okay. I wouldn't have guessed the Vikings.
Fun fact. Vikings have been in 4 Super Bowls and never led a Super Bowl.
They've never even been in the lead.
Never been in the lead. Adam, for the final question of the evening, only 2 Super Bowls have gone into overtime, and both have been since the turn of the century. Can you name one? If you can guess one of the teams, I'll take it.
Pretty sure they're the Patriots.
The Patriots against the Falcons went into overtime in 2017. Pete, can you guess the second?
I feel like the Russell Wilson versus what's his face? Colin Kaepernick. Wasn't that a Super Bowl that went into overtime? 49ers versus Seahawks.
Pick a team.
Yeah, because they couldn't play in the Super Bowl. They played each other in the championship. All right. I'm going to go Seahawks.
No. Adam,
All right.
do you want to steal?
Is that the 49ers Ravens, the Harbaugh Bowl?
Pick a team.
49ers?
49ers versus Chiefs in 2024.
So last year.
It was last year.
Last year.
Because both of you were talking about the 49ers. I was like, oh, I can only give you credit for one. With a final score of Adam 11, Pete 6. Congratulations, Adam.
Yeah.
Woo!
Oh, man. That one was kind of fun.
That was a good time. Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah.
Just because I suck at trivia doesn't mean I don't like it.
And it's so much better when Pete wins.
It is. It is a lot of fun. It's fun both ways, though.
Yeah,
I like trivia. Trivia is always a good time.
sure is.
So, all right. You guys got anything else before we wrap up tonight? Any final thoughts or any last words of wisdom for the crowd?
No, wish me luck at the parade on Friday. I'll be doing my best to climb as many light poles and do backflips on the Four Seasons awning, that sort of thing. Maybe flip a cop car. It'll be a good time.
Oh, so your knees can't take one-on-one in basketball, but you can backflip off a light pole. You can take that, huh?
Dude, listen, at the Eagles parade, I'm 10 years old again.
You may be. Your knees ain't.
Yeah, well, they won't know that till the morning.
For NASCAR fans and football fans looking for something to do on Sundays from now on, you can turn into the Daytona 500 coming up this Sunday. See that? NASCAR figured out that you don't directly compete with the NFL. That's why they started their season after the Super Bowl.
That is the same fan base.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that's it for today, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to like and subscribe so you never miss an episode of the Geeks and Greeks podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, and Amazon. Until next time, may the coin toss of life ever be in your favor.
Go Birds!
Peace.